This is Sherman the Worm speaking.
For us to fail, man, and we don't need this. We don't need to be glorified, man. The youth need to know it's more to life than popping mollies, sipping lean, because this system is serious, bro. You'll be in here, man. The brother Wag James Jenkins that I told you about, he's been in here 32 years, man. 32 fucking years, man. And people think that this shit is normal. I don't wish this on my worst enemy. Nothing is normal about this.
Yeah, Haqq, I duplicated from their old pamphlets back then.
That shit is crazy. We deserve to be out here being kings, man. You understand what I'm saying, bro?
Right. So you denounced that.
Man, I'm not with none of that, bro. I'm about positive productivity.
Yeah, I need you to say that because it's a gang problem out here. Like that shit, that shit it flared back up. That shit.
They need to wise it up, man. Hey, listen, man. Let me tell you how serious this gang epidemic is, man. It's serious, man. And you people look at you got the internet. Go on to Westlaw. Go to the Justice Department. Read the news releases. When they tell you where they get their intel from, they always think when they take a bus and they take down Crips, they take down Bloods. The first thing they say, we would like to thank the New York State Department of Corrections. This is where they get it from, because they know this is where they started, man. Yo, man, value your life, man. Value your freedom, man. You know, welcome home, Disco, man. Shout out to LO, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, man, this is what it is, man. Like, yo, man, dudes got to get focused, man. You know, listen, man, you can't get different results doing the same shit, man. It's just not going to work, man. They got places for it. And, you know, I've been sitting here 20 years, man. I wish I would have listened, man. I want to go home. But, you know, at the end of the day, I'm going to make it. Because I refuse to accept this as my reality, you know? Shout out to my little brother, Little Black, man. I always love you, man. You still the baby, though, man. But that's what it is, brother.
Leave your address, Sherman, in case somebody want to reach out to you.
Yeah, but you know, my name is Sherman Adams. My PIN number is 03A as an apple, 3655. I'm in Shawanga Correctional Facility. You know, P.O. Box 700, Wallkill, New York. 12589, man. You know, again, man, shout out to Ron Artez, Glad, everybody, Mike DeLorean, stay focused, man. Rest in peace, Grandma Brown. Rest in peace, man, my Bama Louise, Roland Adams, man. I miss you, Bama, you know. Shout out to my mom. I'm sorry for always breaking your heart and the things that I want you to do. I now know what you mean when you said you just want me to listen and you just want me to, you know, not go through this. I know it breaks your heart to see your only child, your baby boy, born on Christmas Day, suffering. Yo, Gully, this shit right here is a hellhole. But we make the best of it. We stay fly. We fly high. We stay immaculate. That's what we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Keep your head up, my nigga. We'll be in touch. I want you to hit me back so we can build off the record and shit, man. But you've been a great help, man. You cleared the air on everything, as far as I'm concerned.
Nah, that's what it is, man. I hope this helps the youth too, man. We gotta save the youth, man. They our future, man. They our future. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it's real, man. You know, bro, it's real. They're giving out time like it's nothing, man. They're giving out, like I said, man. Ava DuVernay, I hope you hear this, man. We got some real stories, man. All you got to do is Google the Ava DuVernay. We got a non-profit organization, Family and Friends for the Wrongfully Convicted. We done had rallies at the governor's office, the mayor's office. This is what we doing. You need to sit down with me, and we can get this done, Ava DuVernay. I just want your help so we can get out. I'm wrongfully convicted and actually innocent, you know? So I hope you hear it, because you did a phenomenal job. Hashtag get Linda Fairstein out of there. This is what goes on. Corruption in the system. Oh, man. All right, Gully, man. That's what it is.
Right.
Right?
Yep. Thanks, Sharon. Sharon, call me back.
I'm a motherfucking shit. Yeah, I'm talking.
Peace and love, black power, revolutionary love. Y'all just listening to my man Sherm the Worm, a young brother with powerful super respect among the folks in Queensbridge. That's where we are right now in Queensbridge. Turn the camera there, they can see we're giving away the food today like the Black Panthers used to do. You know? Yeah, like I said, we just did a little clip with Sherm the Worm, and Sherm the Worm is talking to youth, about stopping this gun violence. He said he ain't with it, and the narrative is that we got to love each other. We can't be killing one another. Uh, Jeff Fort, leader of the Blackstone Rangers, is running the same line to our people that we got to love each other and stop the killing. His daughter, Amina, has come with a documentary called The Interrupters. And the whole thing with all these brothers and sisters is love. You understand? Larry Hoover, Black Gangster Disciples, is coming with the same message to love one another and stop this madness. This stuff is crazy. Like I said, we just heard from Sherman the Worm. We out here at a Queensbridge Queensbridge Housing Development. You dig? And this is where this brother came up, and we got some comrades of Sherman right here. We got Sugar Ray over here. Sugar Ray with the 155 punch combination. Give a shout out to Sherman the Worm, brother. Miles just went down the street trying to get him too. There you go, brother.
Yo, listen. Peace, love, and black power to all the freedom fighters, all the revolutionaries, those here on the ground in the city, New York City, throughout the country, those behind the wall. Sherman the Worm, if you don't know, is one of the realest people I've ever met. From when I was a kid, growing up here, even before Queensbridge, right? From Southside, like Sherm family and my family go way back. And I know you might have heard some things about Sherm that may not be favorable, but understand is that his heart has always been gold. The man has always been about his people. He's always been about moving forward. We grew up, right? We 70s and 80s, baby. So we grew up crack era, we grew up street era. So but I had a conversation with Sherm not too long ago, man. A couple weeks ago, actually. I was in New Orleans, and he called me because the brother Abdul Haqq sent him a kite. You know what I mean? Mentioned me, and Sherm knew somebody who knew me and called me up, man. And saluted us.
Max together.
Sherm saluted us on the work.
Much love, yeah, you did.
Sherm saluted us on the work that we're doing here in Queensbridge, and he was very adamant about black people sticking together, regardless of the color. Right, regardless of the color of your flag, understand that it all started to liberate black people. All of the gangs started to liberate black people and protect us against those who are oppressing us, those who are coming into our communities to take from us and to oppress us and to rape our women, right? That's what the gang started for. And Sherm reminded me of that and reminded me to remind others that, yo, it's time to unite and stick together and fight to liberate us. So black power, yeah, man, Sherm is my big bro, man. So, if you know him, if you got his info, fly him a kite, man. Salute him as he still fights for his freedom, and his liberation while inside. And yeah, it's an honor to be out here with you, brother. And let's keep it going. Peace and black power forever.
Yeah, and like Sherm said, they putting together a motion called Friends of the Wrongly Convicted. So y'all just heard the video clip where he mentioned that Friends of the Wrongly Convicted. So brothers and sisters in Queensbridge come together and support this brother. Okay, so like I was saying, this is the Northeast Political Prisoners Coalition podcast, and the theme for today, we want to talk about Black August. Black August, a lot of power in the atmosphere. Black August, August 7th, 1971 is when the man-child, Jonathan Jackson, made the move on the Marion County courthouse. You understand? And there's a big rebellion there, and that was a power move. So, these power moves can put strength in our people. The strategy of the enemy has always been to overpower us, to stomp our being into the dust. You understand? To outgun us. If there's a book called The Second, about the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment was never established for black people to have the right to bear arms. The Second Amendment was for white militias to have all the guns. For the U.S. military to have all the guns and to keep black people unarmed. You understand? So they could oppress us, run roughshod of us, take all our rights. That's what the Second Amendment was about, you know. And the strategy of the enemy has always been ultra violence against our people. So when we make strong, powerful moves, you understand, this puts strength in our people, a strong way of thinking, a strong way of being, creates strong hearts in our brothers and sisters, you know, and the influence of the Marion County rebellion and comrade George Jackson. Read his book, Blood in My Eye, and Attica and Soledad Brothers. It's pure strength in that brother. That brother make you feel like you're a tree 20 feet tall. You dig? And the influence from George Jackson, Jonathan Jackson, is what created the Attica Rebellion. Attica, in the spirit of mass violence against our people. That's what Attica was. White supremacists trying to stomp our being into the dust and, you know, to take all our rights, to take every whimper away from us that would demand justice and equality and our human rights. That's what Attica was about. And so they rebelled against that. They stood up against that. So in Black August, you know, we got these strong, powerful ideas of rebellion. And that's where political prisoners were. Of all those, you know, who resisted and opposed the plan of the beast to make us their meal, you know, these were the ones who stood up courageously with love for our people, who sacrificed everything, their freedom and their lives, you know, so we cannot allow them to just rot and die in prison. You know, we got to support them. Free all political prisoners now. Free all political prisoners. You know, this got to be a top priority among our people. You know, we got Brother Tariq here. He's a former political prisoner. You understand? We got Brother Shep here. We got the brothers from Queensbridge on the corner. You know, Sherm the Worm's comrades is on the corner. That's Brother Miles. Brother Miles. Brother Miles. Brother Miles. Get Brother Miles, Frank. Brother Miles. We started with a statement from Sherm the Worm. Give Sherm the Worm a shout out, brother.
Oh man, gotta give a big shout out. Gotta give a big shout out to Sherm, man. I heard he's doing big things, preaching a new narrative to the youth, and you gotta love that, man. You need a man that walk these streets to actually show people that you could change. You could completely change what you're doing, man. So I completely respect that, man. Shout out Sherm the Worm, Queensbridge. You already know, man. We here, yes, sir. But yeah, let's do this, man.
Yes, sir. So, you know, me and Sherm, we did time together in NIC, you know, Maxie Max, you know, was a lot of love. You know, we built, you know, talk political, you know, talk revolution, you know, and, you know, the brother, like I said, he's sending out messages to the youth now about stopping this madness, you know. And like I said, this is a brother with super respect among the youth, you know, super duper respect, you know. So, you know, support the brother like he gave you the information about his group, Friends of the Wrongly Convicted. So stand up for him. Stand up for all political prisoners. You know, our political prisoners are the best among us. You know, those who without no selfishness whatsoever struggle for us with their all in all. You know, so we owe it to them. You know, it's a disgrace to just abandon our political prisoners and let them die in jail. You know, the way that the bloodsucker wants us to do. The bloodsucker is the criminal, and the bloodsucker tries to criminalize us who stand up against him to make it a crime, you know, to struggle for human dignity, self-respect, you know, land and liberation, you know, and those who are political prisoners are who have the most clearest political line, the most clearest consciousness, you know, and their ideas need to reign among us. You know, an example of a battle where the soldiers was getting ready to retreat, and they saw the leader fighting strong, fighting the enemy strong, you understand? And this put courage in the soldiers, and they continue to fight and defeated the enemy. That is that's what we need in our political prisoners, you understand, in this day when white supremacy, you understand, is foaming at the mouth, you understand, with plans and hopes and wet dreams of keeping us in an animal state forever, to keep us on a leash, to make us their meal forever. You understand? That's what they want. We say, hell no. Black power, free our political prisoners. Nah. Peace, his brother Frank.
Y'all heard the always fiery and always accurate Abdul Haqq Islam. Abdul Haqq brought that fire because that's what's needed to wake up our people. So we can get serious about our political prisoners. Because when we look at Black August and we look at what Comrade George Jackson put on the table, he wanted us to challenge ourselves to do what's needed to organize and get our political prisoners free, to make an assessment about what's going on, make a concrete analysis of concrete conditions, and make a serious decision about what we need to do. So that's why we out here in Queensbridge, because we have to bring this idea of political prisoners to the masses, working class people, people struggling unnecessarily for food, clothing, and shelter. And during this pandemic, we say that the political prisoners must be in on it, right? In terms of fighting this pandemic. So that's why we got these free masks in the spirit of political prisoners that we bring with us. We got the mask. Inside the mask is our contact. Inside the mask is also a card that's directed to the governor of Philadelphia, Governor Wolf. Right? We want to put that pressure on him to let him know that people who elected him, people who said that he was the right person for the job, are saying free political prisoners, free Mumia, and free
them all.
free them all, free them all.
Maroon.
Mumia, Matulu, Russell Maroon Schultz, and so many. That's why we scrolled the names of those. And there's an event coming up. And please go to the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition website and also the community page on Facebook and get the information for what's going on August 21st as well as September 9th. Because we got to be out in the street. We got to exchange dialogue. We got to see what's happening. There's always something each and every one of us can do. So what's the call?
Free them all.
What's the call?
Free them all. Peace, we're going to bring our brother Tyree down for a second, huh?
Free them all.
Brothers and sisters out there, y'all see this right here? That's a Black Panther. This Black Panther is ferocious. In the darkness of the night, this Black Panther can strike. You understand? A very, very ferocious fighter. You understand? See, this is the Black Panther is coming out of these jailhouse bars. So we saying that these Black Panthers need to be free. And we got a very, very bad brother here. A bad brother named Tariq, a former Black Panther, Black Liberation Army soldier. You understand? And this brother sets it on fire all the time. This brother here, will knock out a lame at the drop of a hat. Will knock out a redneck as soon as he say hi to him. My man Tariq, you understand? Give it to him, black man. Black power.
Peace, Black Power, family. As Brother Haqq said, this is Black August, and this month has been set aside for us to remember our heroes. And our heroes are our political prisoners, our prisoners of war. As Brother Haqq has pointed out, as Brother Frank pointed out, in 1970, Brother Jackson, his brother, Jonathan Jackson, was attempting to free 3 brothers from the San Quentin Six, and they killed him. But we remember him because he was a soldier, and we remember him because him and those 3 brothers who were killed with him, they were fighting to say that we are human beings, and they were fighting to resist the fact that we were being treated like animals, and they were fighting to say that black men, that they are black men, and they demand to be treated with respect. They demand to be treated with dignity, and that's why we honor them. And then, unfortunately, in 1971, Brother George Jackson was killed by our enemies, and his death led to the Attica Rebellion because when George was killed, the brothers in Attica felt that was enough for prisoners to be forced to endure. They were being forced to endure being treated like animals. They were being forced to endure being trained to constantly eat so that they can develop diabetes. They were being forced to being trained to submit to the racists, and they felt that after George Jackson was killed, that was too much, and so they held a sit-down strike, and the sit-down strike ultimately led to the Attica Rebellion. And as you know, the authorities said that the hostages, the guards, had their throats slit, and that was a lie. The authorities, they lie about everything. If you see the authorities' lips moving, they're lying. So that, uh, those are some of the reasons why we chose August as a month to remember our heroes and to remember our sheroes. And we want to know that, and we want to know that our leadership has to be willing to be killed. I come here, sitting here, after a couple of weeks ago, I think one of their agents fired into my house 9 times. You see, and so that was supposed to be a warning to me and to scare me, but I'm willing to be killed. So that ain't nothing to me, And so any of our leaders, those people they put out as our leaders, they not willing to be killed like revolutionaries are being willing to be killed. And so you can't expect to hear good things from them. You can't expect proper leadership from them. So we want to know that the month of August was set aside as a time to remember our heroes. As you know, Marcus Garvey was born in August, and he's one of our greatest leaders. And we had a number of rebellions in August. The 1822 rebellion in South Carolina. Uh, Nat Turner Rebellion occurred in August, and those are the reasons why
August.
we have set aside August as a month to remember our heroes, and our heroes fought for us. They fought to say that we are human beings and we will not be peacefully treated like animals. We're not going to be treated like animals and go peacefully along with that. And so they upheld the fact that we are human beings, and they honor us by giving their lives to say that we are human beings. And so we honor them, and that's why we have chosen Black August. And so what you can do, you can tell your child to look up every word that he or she don't know, and that will contribute much to them being a scholar for the revolution. And you can tell parents to not yell at their children and not beat their children and not send their children to bed without food, because this is why we have black Nazis. These are black Nazis. I've talked to them, and we have black people who feel that black people should be put in a pile. They should be black. All black people should be killed, put in a pile, poured gas on, and burned up. I heard this out of the lips of black people.
Whoa.
And that's because of the training process that they are being subjected to. So as a parent, I want to apologize to my younger people for having treated them wrong. I treated you wrong because that's all I knew. I knew wrong. They taught me wrong, and I thought it was right. And that's why I was pursuing that, but that was wrong. So as a parent, I want to apologize to you, and I want you to know that I love you as best as I could. I was part of the problem, but now I'm the solution.
That's right.
Black power.
Black power.
All right, that was Brother Tyreek, a top soldier. You understand? He mentioned Jonathan Jackson, and I want to mention to you 17-year-olds, you 17, 18, 19, and 21-year-olds. Look up Jonathan Jackson. You understand? A brother who stood up courageously, fearlessly to the so-called greatest, most well-armed system in the world. You understand? And made a strike for freedom. You understand? 17-year-old. So this is a message to you 17-year-olds who out here that want to kill each other. And some of y'all kill 6-month-old babies because you can't even shoot. You ain't even been to the range one time. You understand? If it's a target across the street, Some of them hit everything except what they shooting at. You understand? And murdered one another. You know, so Jonathan Jackson, 17 years old, an example of standing up to the so-called omnipotent, the so-called want you to think he's God system. You know? So we out here to say that these type of spirits need to be among us, need to be free among us, fighting among us, sharing that love, sharing that information. We got brothers who've been studying for 30, 40, and 50 years, got the equivalent of 5 PhDs, need to be out here sharing that knowledge with the people. You understand? Building with us, building us up. We got another strong soldier here named Brother Shep who's going to holler at you. Peace. Black Power.
Black Power, peace, peace.
Sit down so they can see you.
Peace, family. This is Brother Shep. Can you slide over a little bit? Yeah. All right, there we go. All power to the people. This is Brother Shep. I'm a veteran of the original Black Panther Party back in the early 70s, and we out here in Queensbridge, which has a long history in Queens here, struggle. Malcolm X lived here. Barbara Herman Ferguson lived here. You know, we got organizations like CMOTEP that come out of here. We got the Rock, you know, that was put there in Honorable Marcus Garvey. You know, so we have a lot of history here. We had two branches in the Black Panther Party right here in Queens, one in Jamaica and one in Corona. That's how revolutionary Queens was, and we're going to bring all that back to fore right now. So we're out here to give out information, to give out free food, and the theme is Black August. So when we talk about Black August, we talk about internationalism too. The Haitian Revolution happened in August. Fidel Castro was born in August. Okay? Then we can go Marcus Garvey was born in August. We had Jonathan Jackson was assassinated in combat, in August. George Jackson was killed in combat in August. So we have a long history in August. We can go on, but we want you to look at your history, and you can get more of that. I'm gonna give out email for you. It's Panther Shep Cat at AOL.com. That's Panther, PANTHER, Shep, SHEP, Cat, CAT. Because I'm Brother Shep, I'm a Panther, and a Panther is a cat. So it's Panther Shep Cat at AOL.com. And we have out here today, we got the latest edition of the Jamal Journal. We have information on the International Tribunal that's coming up here in New York City in October. We're giving that out. Our brother already mentioned, about the 2 postcards, one for Maroon and one for Mamiya, that we're having people sign to give to that devil governor in Pennsylvania. He can just, with a stroke of a pen, both of them can come home. And we need our elders to come home. A lot of them been locked up for 50 years and 45 years, and they are dying in prison. And when we talk about dying in prison, that's right. We don't want no more dying in prison. We're here today in that light to honor 2 brothers who were known as the Queens 2. They were locked up, and both of them went to the hospital in the prison and didn't come out. We call it medical neglect. We call it medical assassination. They killed both of those brothers. We're talking about Abdul Majid, and we're talking about Bashir Hamid, the Queens 2. And they were railroaded into prison as being members of not just the party, but the Black Liberation Army. The first 2 trials were hung juries, and the 3rd trial, they wanted to make sure that they got captured, so they put an all-white jury. That's right, an all-white jury right here in New York City, Queens, and that's who convicted them in the long run. So we need to free them all, bring them all home. This is the year 2021 to bring all of our freedom fighters home. We need people to get involved, get in the streets, do it in the churches, do it in the community centers, do it out in the street like we are here in the street right now. All power to the people. What's the call?
Free them all.
What's the call?
Free them all.
That's right, free them all. Right on.
Black Power. Black Power. Yes, it's Black August and it's hot out here. You understand? And so the politics has got to be hot. You know, the influence. All right, this brother Abdul Majid. That brother right there, let me tell y'all something. This brother right here, I was in Clinton with this brother, and we used to run the yard every day. That brother take one step, it'd be about 30 feet. And we used to run 5 miles every day in the yard. And I'd be behind him, keeping up. You understand? And after that 5 mile run every day, I'd be real wet, soaking wet. This brother right here, hard big as all out there. There you go, brother. Yeah, Shep got another quick thing for y'all, brothers and sisters.
Yeah, this is something else that we're doing here. These are old pamphlets. I don't know if you can see this. Can we?
Yeah, just put it up like that.
Okay, there it is. Right, this is a pamphlet from the Queens too that I was just talking about. This is a trifold that was done. We're duplicating all these old documents so that the young people can read what actually happened back then. Because you ain't gonna find it on Google, you ain't gonna find it on anything on the internet. This comes right from the source, from the streets. And that's what we're doing now, so you can really learn our story and not his story.
Right.
So we're just letting people know we're doing that today in honor.
Yeah. And learn our story, brothers and sisters, so that you believe that you can do anything. They can't nothing stop you. You understand? That whatever you put your mind to, you can achieve. Like Marcus Garvey said, up you mighty race, you can accomplish what you will, you know? And that is what our political brothers, that's what the politics is about. The politics of the bloodsucker, you understand, is to crush our spirits. You know, we heard about the slave owner, but the slave breaker was the worst one of all. The ones who broke the spirit, you understand, of the enslaved, you know? So we are here to say that our spirits got to be big as all our doors. And reading history and the words and knowing our political prisoners, you understand, will create demand that they be free. We got a couple of publications here. This is the Jamal Journal right there. It's a journal by Free Friends and Family of Free Mumia Abu Jamal. Okay, let me see what's the other one, all right? The latest 2 editions. So get in touch with us, you know, N.E.P.P.C Coalition. You know, look us up online and get a copy of the latest Jamal Journal. You understand? To get this information, this liberating information. All right? So I'm going to give it back to Frank. Brother Frank, Black Power.
Peace and love. Good to be back again. So we had some very important information, and I think that once we get this very important information, now we have to make a serious decision about what we're gonna do with this information. You know, our political prisoners are sitting in prison, right? And they come home based on how well we organize our people. So it's important that you check out our contact, give us a call, provide us your email, and we're gonna get back to you as far as what's gonna be the next thing. We got a number of things coming up, tribunals. I know that I got a letter from the parole board hearing for Rochelle McGee, and I wrote them back asking them why he was denied parole. See, I think that anybody who writes the parole board, when they get a response, they need to ask why was the decision made if the decision is not to free somebody who has been incarcerated for so long, right? Because we have to raise the contradictions when it comes to the prison industrial complex, right? We got to say, if this is a place for rehabilitation and correction, then how long does that process take? Is it 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, right? And because we got to look at it as our responsibility is to not let political prisoners die in prison. So if we don't get them free in 20 years or 30 years or 40 years, but as long as we get them home before they die, I think that's very important. I'm not saying we're supposed to fight any less harder, but I'm just saying that we need to look at things from the perspective of we can't give up. We can't give up that fight because they haven't given up. And I think that it's very important when we come out to these streets because since we've been coming out to Queensbridge, I noticed that we've been getting certain responses from people because this is a rare sight to see in the community. Pictures of Black Panther Party members, pictures of Black Liberation Army members, pictures of political prisoners, because we are taking a position in the community about what's going to happen. I know one time we came out here and this brother said the most surprising statement somebody could say when you're talking about your work that you're doing in the community, especially when it's talking about self-determination. He said, there's life on this corner. I'm going to come back and I'm going to bring my turntables. Like he wanted to participate in that. But the brother said there's life in these corners, on this corner. And that blew my mind because that was the least thing that I expected. See, there's lawyers, doctors, and there's many loving people, people of various faiths in our community. We got to reach those people. We got to let them know that we need their support for them to get involved. Because we can't stop this work. We got to get involved. We got to let our people know that we're out here. That we're going to do some work. That we're going to take a position when it comes to our political prisoners.
Yeah, that's right.
So I say that many of us, when we go to family gatherings, mention Matulu, mention Mumia, mention Russell Maroon Schultz. Have that discussion. These discussions have to be as common as discussions about the Olympics, about the latest finals, the latest playoffs in any sport, the World Series. Just as much time as we spend on those topics, we got to spend on political prisoners. And that's why we make it our business to come out into the streets to make sure our community knows what's going on currently and what's been going on in the past. So I think everything was said from the people in the community, the people from Transform America. We thank them for allowing us to participate.
Y'all see, we got the food distribution out here.
Participate in this food giveaway. Because it's the spirit of political prisoners that keep them out here doing what they do. We got nothing but love and respect for this organization. So I think it's about done in terms of this episode of our podcast. We say, do your job, do your role, and continue to fight the fight. What's the call?
Free them all.
What's the call?
Free them all.
What's the call?
Free them all.
Free 'em all.